How's it going?
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Crosscut Cinema.
We're a podcast. We talk about movies on it,
That we do.
and we spoil them.
Yes.
Spoil
A lot.
the heck out of them.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to, don't listen to this yet. Just
Right,
see the
'cause then
movie
it'll
and then
ruin
come
it for
back.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll
If you-
literally ruin everything for you. I imagine that we'll ruin more than just the spoilers, but your expectations
Yeah.
of what this film
Just
might
watch the
be.
movie first and then come back.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
please do come back.
Please.
I'm Madison. That's my name.
Everything in me is trying to come up with an In the Heights lyric to be quippy, and I have nothing.
I know.
I have nothing. There is nothing.
Isn't that telling?
There is
that there's
nothing. There is nothing.
There's nothing that sticks in your memory.
There's no like individual lyric either. It's like, yeah, that's from that jam. Like, no, I don't remember
Right.
any of it.
Bridget does because she's like
Bridget.
musical.
Bridget.
Yeah.
Give us an In the Heights lyric that's really going to work with
Please.
this right now.
Oh, relevant to the
Oh.
situation.
Relevant to the situation.
Or just find a way to make a lyric work in any context of a sentence. You could be like, Bob went to the In the Heights store. I don't care. Just try to come up with a lyric that'll work.
salon.
Brandy, what the fuck?
That was
That
amazing.
is one of the
It
lyrics
is, yeah.
from that
Yeah.
fucking movie.
That was awesome. That was
All right.
awesome.
She do
Before
be
we
working
get-
at the salon, though.
Before we get too into it, let's say who we are. I'm Franny.
I'm Madison.
I'm Bridget.
Logan.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the main character of In the Heights. His name is Usnavi.
All right, we're talking about
Very
In the Heights
dumb.
now. We're getting into it. Yeah,
I mean,
isn't
that was what we
fucking
came here to
dumb?
do, so I think we should do it. Let's go.
Like, I feel like
Pull up
having.
the Wikipedia.
Before we get into it, wow, that's so weird. I want to talk about why we picked these movies to pair together. So I'm really into like personal media and home media and like the traditional movie going experience where I go to a cinema, 3 months later I buy it on Blu-ray. That's like my perfect setting for films. I mean, I'm not super into streaming or anything like that. But these movies are both widely impacted by streaming in different ways. And within the Heights, it's negatively. So this movie was supposed to open to a shit ton of money, but HBO Max started doing their same day release where
Yeah.
they have their like theater experience films on their streaming service the same day it comes out in the cinema. And In the Heights was obviously a movie that people were buzzing about before it came out, that it was going to make a shit ton of money, but it's actually done really horribly and is probably not going to make its money back.
Yeah. And like people have said that that's a lot of it is due to the fact that it's been on HBO, and
So-
I'm sure it is.
So in a sense, like streaming kind of killed this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that streaming this year or the last couple of years has really changed the way we take in movies, changed like the perspective of what can work and what's like a working idea. And I think that these two films, and we'll get more into why later, but I think these two films exemplify that weird, smaller indie stuff is now having this power that big
Yeah.
cinema can't have. Like, it just doesn't possess it. Because all these blockbusters keep coming out at home releases, and they get terrible reviews. You have Wonder Woman, Army of the
Right.
Dead.
Yeah.
Even the movies that probably were pretty good, like good things about them, people gave negative reviews to, and it shows, like, if you're not in the cinema...
There's a different experience that you're having, especially with like spectacle movies, like the way that Wonder Woman is a spectacle, or like whatever Zack Snyder's doing, it's going to be a spectacle.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into that, but because that's going to be talked about in War Dogs, and that's like a
Yeah.
whole different experience. But with this, that's kind of the big story around it, where I feel like everybody should be talking about why this movie sucks so much balls.
This movie is sucky.
Yeah.
And I
It has such positive reviews everywhere, and I'm like, what are
it
you
has
talking
caught
about?
a little bit of flack lately, though.
It has.
There has been some backlash to this movie lately.
I haven't heard any, but please tell me.
So many people are upset, and I think rightly so. This is actually, it's very similar to the same reason that we are upset, which is that people feel, especially people who are from like this culture and live in this area, feel that the movie does not represent like Afro-Latino people. and people are really upset that the only like black character in this movie is Benny. And meanwhile, like black people are from Latin America, and black people do, you know, speak Spanish and participate in this culture.
No, I bet they didn't even think about that when they were writing this shit. It didn't even dawn on them.
No, not even a little bit. And so, and especially because in the Heights, it's such a Dominican neighborhood, and a lot of Afro-Latino people are from the Dominican Republic. And like the more like islandy nations, I guess, like I'm not islandy, but like the more coastal, I guess.
As Dave Chappelle would say, right near the beach.
Sure. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, people have been upset about that. And Lin-Manuel Miranda apologized. He had to apologize for it.
Good.
But he was like, I'm learning, I'm listening.
Wait, are you making fun of his apology right now? You're
Yeah.
like, his apology sucks. You have big beef with Lin-Manuel.
I just don't care for him. I hate his fucking smug ass face.
Like,
It drives
It really-
me insane.
That's
he
awesome.
Just, like you can just tell that he's like, if he gets to the restaurant and his table's not immediately ready with his reservation, he'd be like, "Do you know I'm Lin-Manuel Miranda? Like, do you know who I am?"
He does kind of like the eye roll, you know?
Right?
He's
He
like,
wouldn't say that, but you
these
would tell
people
he would
don't
have
know
an
who
air.
I am. They don't know that I'm rapper Hamilton.
And that's the other thing about him. I hate his singing and rapping.
Oh, that's
He
like
has a very
so
nasally
you
voice.
hate everything that makes him him.
Yeah, pretty much.
She hates him
I
as
hate
an
what he
entirety
stands
in a
for.
concept.
I hate. Well,
what he stands for. You hate what he
What
stands
does
for.
he stand for?
Hot top, like just like an absolute news article. The first one about us is Crosscut Cinema hates what Lin-Manuel stands for. What does that mean? You should really elaborate.
yeah, he stands for the like
Tokenization.
the tokenization and the romanticization of history.
Yeah.
Because like Hamilton, all these dudes were like slave owners, bro. Mm-hmm. And Hamilton just wants to act like they were like these visionaries, and like also that the American way is the way, and it's like destined to be that way. And I just don't think that that's accurate, and I don't like it. He's very neoliberal to me, is what
He does seem like
is.
he basically put Kamala Harris in his film, so I think
that
that's
was so
I hate what he
uncomfy.
stands for, dude. Like I just don't like it. I don't care for it.
he's very much like Pokemon Go to the polls, you know?
Correct.
Right.
And like, and In the Heights even is very much like gentrification is bad. Kind
It's
of.
like
most
it's
of
a
the time.
musical version of that show that Bridget loves that really sucks ass. What's it called?
Shameless.
It's like
Yeah.
Shameless but worse somehow.
Yeah. And like also to like I don't know, it just he just is very disingenuous to me, and I don't care for him.
Yeah.
And I think that he really thought that he was like the big money grabber for this movie.
And every scene he was in was the worst scene.
I know.
In fact, his solo scene was the worst scene of the film.
Yeah,
Because
it was
I love
bad.
ice cream and I hate assholes.
I hated that, yeah. And like, and the whole time he was just so self-satisfied to be there in that movie doing it. Like you could
Right.
He put himself on the beach even though he's just some fucking guy.
tell. Right, like he doesn't
Right.
even know you.
It's like the whole movie, like that moment was him trying to make rent.
Correct.
And like him just like, I'm just in the neighborhood, but I'm still important. 29,000 under minute. Like that's what that scene was for him. Like that's really what it was. And
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah.
I also think that like if we're gonna get into like why this movie sucks in just general, we're just shitting on it. The pool scene is one of the most horrific scenes I've seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
what we were
it's-
saying, like
Yeah,
the whole lack of representation.
Yeah, like
thing.
it's like everybody. There's not a single person who wears like a normal sized T-shirt there. Everybody's tiny and emaciated, and like the whole film is like we're showing off different cultures and different people in this area. Like it's supposed to be a diverse neighborhood, and then what you see at the pool is not representation.
Right,
It's
you're
all
telling me there's
beautiful
not one fat
Instagram
girl?
models.
Like
Yeah, there was. I mean, like, why wasn't like the grandma there? Whatever, with the
Yeah,
abuela. Why wasn't
yeah.
abuela there?
what the
Abuela,
fuck?
we missed you. We wanted you at the pool. I wanted to see you having fun in the pool. I wanted
Right,
to see it.
and then like even the girl, like the plus size.
You know, when you go to the water
Girl.
park, the abuela's always at the
Oh,
pool.
yeah, dude.
She should have been there.
the fucking girl from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
Like she was, and like she's a bigger girl, and she was there in that scene, but not in a fucking bathing suit at the damn
Right.
pool. She was in like a tracksuit.
For
the
what,
director's like,
though?
dear God, let's not. Oh,
Should we back it up and talk about the plot?
sure. It's a lottery ticket with Bow Wow, but with music.
Oh my god! That just unlocked a visceral memory.
I'm opening the chambers right now.
That's so crazy.
Yep.
Wasn't the lottery ticket number he picked? Wasn't it from like a fortune cookie or some shit in that movie?
I don't remember. I
don't know this movie.
I also don't.
I just remember like everybody trying to steal his ticket.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like romanticizing a neighborhood story.
Yeah.
But everyone's trying to rob you, so I'm not romanticized by them.
Right.
They're all thieves. And I feel the same way about this neighborhood, but not with thieving, but just like they're all talking about how it's so important for them to be a neighborhood, and half of them are talking about how they need to leave immediately.
Right.
Like every other character's like, I don't want to be here. And like in
I
in
work
song,
in the salon.
yeah, I work in the salon. Like what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, if you're so proud of your neighborhood, why is it that half the characters are bitching about being in your neighborhood the whole time?
Yeah, like the salon is literally leaving the neighborhood.
Right, I was thinking that too. I was like, wait, aren't they?
Nobody wants
It's
to
like-
be in this
like-
goddamn neighborhood.
Like Lynn was confused, dude. He did not know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was confused.
But okay, so the plot of the
Yeah.
movie is our main character, his name is Usnavi. He is an immigrant, child of immigrant parents from the Dominican Republic. Sorry, am I loud?
Nope.
From the Dominican Republic, and he owns and operates a bodega, like on the street corner or whatever. And he lives with like his. It's not really his grandma, but he calls her like his abuela.
The whole neighborhood calls her
Yeah,
abuela.
she's like everybody's mom, basically. And he lives with her, and he runs this bodega with his cousin, and it's the summer. It's like a very hot summer. All of like, the whole neighborhood is like around for the summer, and they sell a winning lottery ticket. So they know it's got to be to somebody in the neighborhood, and they all have different wants for this money. And like most of them, like you said, want to leave.
Like almost all of them.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
his
it
lottery
really is
ticket, he
almost all of
hopes to
them.
return to the Dominican Republic. Abuela turns out to be the one who had the lottery ticket.
It was so obvious. It was so obvious.
Obviously.
Like at the beginning of the movie, you see her buy one. You're like, she won.
Right.
She won. She's going to die and she'll win.
Correct. So she dies and then leaves the lottery ticket to Usnavi. And with it, he originally plans to move to the Dominican Republic. But through the love of his community, he changes his mind and decides to stay and uplift and tell the stories of his people or whatever.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's based on a musical. The musical, Bridget knows it better than I do, but
I
it
feel
exists.
like personally, I prefer the stage version, or at least the songs from the stage version.
I'm sorry. It's just like so obvious to me, and that's why I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
But like he cut out like so many songs that are on the Broadway version,
Which
and
is
I'm like,
crazy because this movie is all songs.
It's literally
right,
so
it's
much
like
songs.
2.5 hours of songs or some shit.
And like normally I'm the type of person I like a sung through musical. Like I find that enjoyable.
Yeah, but the music has to be like dynamic and different. All these
Right.
songs were like one big celebration after another. And it's like, oh my
Correct.
God,
Yeah.
I'm sick of dancing. I just want someone to be sad or like give me
Yeah.
something epic.
And they're always like very the same formula. Like it's like English verse, Spanish verse, chorus in Spanglish.
This movie feels like the opening of La La Land the whole time. Like for everybody who got scared in the first like 10 minutes of La La Land, like this is too musically.
I loved the first 10 minutes of La La
then
Land.
then In the Heights is like the movie for you, Madison, apparently. Because it is that one big awful dance sequence the whole film. The
It
movie.
is.
Yeah,
That is
like-
a great way
Yeah.
to describe it.
I mean,
And like, yeah, the songs all sound very similar.
They're all about the same thing.
And every time it's just like, oh my God, are we doing a song again? Like the characters talk to each other for 3 seconds and I'm like, wow, okay, we're actually going to like get to know these people and understand them and see if they grow as people.
Also,
And
why
it's
would I
like,
want
nope,
to?
we're just doing another song.
Why would I want to move to the Heights if Abuela died of a heat stroke? That seems like a terrible place to live.
Right?
You're trying to sell me the Heights, but Abuela's out because it's too hot. I'm not going.
Right?
I'm not going. It sounds hot there.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably Abuela was the only really good thing about this movie.
Her song was incredible.
Yeah, that
it
was
really
very good. And it
was.
was like
It
really
was.
well
It gave
shot
me
and
chills.
stuff.
Super cinematic and like really well shot and like very, like I said, dynamic. Something so different than the rest of the music that
Yeah.
was in the movie up to that point. And that's why I find it shocking that that's not the one they're trying to make the standout. You know,
Right.
like the people who are like pushing this movie for awards, they're trying to push the fucking dancing on the side of the building song. And I'm like, that shit was boring
That
as
was
hell.
about nothing.
Reminded me of like an end credit scene from Caillou or something. Looked terrible.
Yeah.
But this like was so dynamic and awesome, and it was like the best part of the whole movie.
And that song was so dumb too.
Yeah, it
The
really
fact that
was.
like in that spot was so stupid.
Yeah,
Because
I don't know why.
because they made up a reason for they wrote it out of the musical part because it was earlier in the musical, right? Originally,
it
and so
was.
what it was
Originally,
about.
it was during the blackout. Is
Yeah.
It
that
was during the
right?
blackout,
But because of the pace of the film, they had to put it. They'd be like, "Let's pretend like we're still in the blackout," and then they did the song again.
yeah,
Stupid.
And it's like, what the fuck is happening? All the electricity's back on. You guys are leaving tomorrow. Quit singing about how you have like
Right,
3
and
months of
if
this.
that happened during the blackout, that probably would have been like cool and effective.
At least better. Like
Yeah.
I still think that the effect's a little too corny for me.
It
like,
was.
I don't think it was earned because the rest of the movie isn't fantastical enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
like
see that for
the
sure.
Occasional fantastical elements, like
But
some
I
parts
think
of it had
but I
it,
think
but
it I think it fell out of tone.
yeah, if it had a little bit more and if it were more emphasized, because it did have it occasionally. Like I remember in the song about the lottery ticket,
Well, okay.
there was some.
My issue with it too is also how it was shot. Like a lot of parts of this movie were shot like a music video and everything, and like really gritty. But that scene in particular on the side of the building was shot almost like a musical, where it wasn't that many cutaways or like close-ups.
Right.
And that's why it felt out of tone with the movie. It really felt like a song from a different like musical.
I would agree with that entirely.
Like I would have appreciated a side of the building shot if they had kept it like if they had done close-ups of their feet like lapsing on and off the building and like done it like the rest of the film. I think it would have actually been a better scene. But it
Yeah.
just wasn't in tone with the rest of the movie at all.
Yeah, I agree. With
I
that.
agree. Yeah.
And then some of the acting was really tough. That's
Holy
the thing about it.
fucking fuck, you're not kidding. What's her face? The chick who's like Stanford is like there's no place for me.
Yeah,
like
also, can we talk about that?
Gabriella's there too, dude. Go hang out with Gabriella.
Her name is
She doesn't
Nina.
have, she doesn't have friends there. Go hang out with Gabriella at Stanford, bro.
Yeah.
They could have fun.
I didn't like that character
This
at
movie gives
all.
Stanford
Yeah.
such a bad.
And I hope Stanford was pissed because like they really were like sitting out there like fucking with them the
Yeah.
whole time, like saying this
Yeah.
place sucks. There's no place for minorities there. Like I hope Stanford's okay with them shit talking there
And, like, I
because
don't-
it's supposed to be modern too.
Right.
Right.
And like of course I'm sure that like people experience microaggressions and things like that on Stanford's campus, but I think it implies that like the people at Stanford are actively being
Racist.
Right.
And like
It was a
also
weird
that
choice.
only white people go to Stanford, which I'm sure is
And then
not true.
and then the end of the story is, oh, I will go back to this racist Stanford. Like if they're
Right.
really that racist, like don't
right, like don't
go back. I think that's a good plot for you if you think they're actually
and
racist.
like what would that say? That would say that you don't need to like you can look to your community for education and knowledge if others won't accept you and things like that. But no.
Or-
She just
or
went
even-
back to racist Stanford.
Or even just like, what's the point of learning from racists? You know,
Correct.
like why support racists
And,
in the
like-
Ivy League? But she went back and went to Stanford
right,
with
and
those racists.
I feel like if you asked a Republican what they thought of Stanford, they'd be like, "It's turning our kids into communists."
Yep. Stanford definitely is one of the more liberal
Yeah,
Ivy
because
League
it's like
schools.
in California. It's like
Yeah.
it's a very liberal school.
Also, I think it's really stupid that they like for some reason they changed that. It used to be the reason that she got kicked out in the movie was that she was like searched. Her bag was searched because
Yeah.
somebody thought that she stole
Well, she didn't
something.
get kicked out. She quit.
Well, yeah, but that's the reason.
Yeah,
why
that's
she
the
dropped
reason.
out.
Yeah,
Because
so
of
she
the
dropped
racism,
out.
She
Yeah.
dropped out.
But in the musical, like the stage version, she had to work 2 jobs to help pay for tuition, and she couldn't keep up. And I
like,
feel like
that makes so much more sense.
right.
And it
like,
kind of
it's
gives
easier.
it gives the character a little more character, honestly, because she
Right.
just seems like a dramatic bitch most of the time.
Yeah.
Right, and
And
it
like
makes
very
her-
ungrateful
it
for
makes
what
her
she has
motivations-
accomplished.
It makes her
Honestly,
motivations more complex.
yeah.
right.
And
And
she
I'll-
would have been working hard.
But I also hate that like the story goes with, yeah, if your father wants to impose a life on you you don't want, you can find a way to accept that.
Right.
That's
like,
the
no.
plot. Like he's forcing her to go to Stanford,
And
and
you
she's
know,
like, I don't want to do that.
That actor gives me bad vibes because he's in Dexter.
He's in Dexter. He's a serial killer in Dexter.
I know. I was like, where do I recognize him from?
And also, like, I just feel like they put that in there. They changed the reasoning for her to, like, leave Stanford in order to make the weird DACA Kamala Harris advertisement work.
Yeah.
It really,
not the reason because
it really does.
felt like
It
the
really
reason.
does feel that way, and so does like completely disregarding that kid's character. Like, wasn't he gay and like had other attributes to him?
Well, Lynn said after the fact that Sonny was supposed to be gay.
A classic Dumbledore.
When talking about the musical.
My point is
But
though,
that's stupid because they didn't hint at that at all.
Right.
They made him
Right.
actively interested in somebody.
I mean, that was still part of the musical as well, but like,
You know who I hated in this musical? I hated that bitch who wanted to move like a couple blocks over.
Vanessa. Yeah.
Vanessa.
And it just felt so stupid to me. Like she felt like
I
all her,
work at the salon.
yes, she felt like all her dreams were gonna come true because she like moved to a different part of the same city that she already lived in. Like, how would that change anything?
Right.
yeah, it's and like
What would it do? I don't understand.
it really just felt like such a like stereotypical like story to tell in the middle of it too.
Yeah.
Like the down on her luck fashion designer who eventually gathers up a bunch of ugly ass rags and makes it into clothing.
Right.
It's so
Right.
awful looking. They look terrible. They
So
look
bad.
so. It looks like youth clothing, like for babies.
I used to watch a lot of Project Runway, and every season on Project Runway, they would take them to like a party store or like a fucking lumber yard or some shit, and they would have to like use the materials that they got from there. That's what it looks like.
That's crazy.
I know I'm jumping ahead here, but the like fashion thing just made me think of it. I hate the ending, how he didn't actually leave.
I mean, he was
Yeah.
never going. Like, I
I
mean,
know,
obviously he
but-
wasn't going to because those kids were calling him dad.
I know, but I thought the whole time they were calling him dad, like, and like he was raising his family not in the Heights to give
I
them a
see.
better
I mean,
life.
the film
more
literally makes you
opportunities.
think this by having, I assume these children hallucinating and thinking he's on the beach for some reason.
Right.
Like this film literally actively tries to deceive you
Yeah.
on where he is. So I think it's very fair that Franny thought that
Yeah.
that he might have been leaving.
Completely.
Because
And,
the
like-
whole film's like he's not there anymore.
And like we're gonna spend this whole movie talking about how growing up in the Heights they got no opportunities and everything, and then like when he has this opportunity to bring his children somewhere else, he doesn't take
He's
it.
like, nah, I'd rather stay where there's no opportunities.
I'd rather give my kids a disadvantage, just like I had. Like it's just a weird choice. I don't know. I feel like
Also,
the
he's
message
talking about the
isn't
neighborhood
clear.
in the past tense, and it's like the place where
Yeah.
the children currently live.
Right. And they're like,
Yeah,
Dad,
like,
what the fuck?
back,
Like,
he
Dad!
was just back in the neighborhood, and they're just like,
Dad, quit taking your
They just point at
painkillers.
the
God,
ground. I'm seeing green crabs.
I don't know. It's
That
an
green
odd
crab
choice.
was also a giveaway where I was like, that's like overly exotic. This is weird in some way.
And then like that also tells you that the Vanessa's dreams didn't work out either. I mean, she's clearly not a successful
Right, she's not a
fashion
She
designer.
just sells her clothes in the fucking bodega.
Like they all just settled and didn't try any. It didn't try any harder.
Like, I love how her songs are like, everybody wants to fuck me. Like that's like, like the whole way from her old neighborhood to her new neighborhood, there were men stalking and gawking at her. And I
Right,
just felt
every
like
song
that's
was-
not a character
and then the
trait.
song when she was at the club and everybody wanted to dance with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I thankfully dipped out of a lot of that one the first time we watched it, but unfortunately when I rewatched the movie,
Yeah.
that was a scene I
It's
hadn't
long.
seen.
Yeah.
So I paid a lot of attention to it, and I wish I could have just gone back to the version
It
without
reminds
that
me of,
because it got worse.
Yeah.
That scene existing made the movie.
You know
worse.
what it makes me think of?
What?
When they go, when the one girl goes like salsa dancing in From Justin to Kelly.
Yes.
No, well, this is what I was gonna say. At least as bad as the ending number like is and everything, and like the whole. At least it's still better than From Justin to Kelly.
Yeah, at least
Right.
things
This
were like
movie-
choreographed in practice.
We're gonna shit on this movie, and we shit on musicals all the time, but like, it's not as bad as From Justin to Kelly. As soon as
No.
something's is that bad, we will make a note of it.
Maybe the only thing that really comes close is Cats.
I thought
But Cats is bad in an entirely different way. That
I
you
thought
almost
High School
can't
Musical
compare the
3
two.
was like almost gonna get it, and then it had too many good meme moments.
Yeah.
Like it
The
just had too many.
boys are back.
Yeah, but this movie
Isn't that one? Yeah.
This movie would be as bad if it wasn't for the spectacle of the filmmaking.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
it could.
It's
I think
very-
it has the potential to almost be as bad if it was shot by a different person.
Yeah, it's pretty well shot, and I think it's well choreographed as
Yeah,
well.
definitely
The
parts
dance
of it.
scenes look good.
I really feel like the scene where Benny's with that, like that's the one black guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I love Benny. Benny might be
I-
the best character in the movie.
So when they're randomly in the park for like I knew the moment they were standing in a park, I'm like, here we go. This is gonna be a park number.
Yep.
And like within seconds, they're like, we're singing in the park about the same thing we were singing in the last scene.
Yeah, a lot of the songs.
Like it's the same fucking thing. I'm like, I just heard this. Move on.
like every song is just kind of like da 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 da
Da
da
da da da da da. The Heights.
And I feel like the transitions
Every
into the
song.
songs are like not it. The transitions into the songs are not.
Oh,
it in
some of
this.
them are really strange. I really do think the pool scene is the worst scene of the whole film.
Yeah,
though.
and I don't like
it's
that
hard
one
to
kid
watch.
like front, like being like the center in that song. The
Right.
like
I
supposedly
I don't
gay
like
but
how
not
some of them
gay.
were double jointed. I didn't like
I
that.
was
That
gonna
was
say, I was
odd.
gonna talk
Yeah.
about the contortionist. Like that was frightening.
Oh,
because
because I recently watched Climax, and I will not speak on it. It's a 10 out of 10 movie you should never see. But I just remembered the like contortion scenes they did in that movie. I still feel like the one in this movie is grosser looking.
Oh God.
That's insane.
It's really gross looking. His
It is.
arms are really like it's because they're all
don't like
emaciated.
it.
They're all hungry, dude.
Also, I want to say the girl who played what's her name? I work in the salon.
Vanessa.
I wanted her name to be Valerie for some reason. The one who plays Vanessa, her fucking bikini top in the scene is the hardest working actor in the film by far.
Yeah.
It's doing the Lord's work. It is like those things are fucking tight in there. It's like all the way up on her fucking collarbone. It's insane.
The tits were crazy.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
They were
I've seen a lot of
crazy.
tits in my life, but never like that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like they were like in her throat.
Yes.
You wonder where her vital organs are sitting at moments like that.
Correct. Like she looks like she was like sucking in hard. She was like,
Oh,
they might
you-
cut me from this movie if I
and
it
you-
look like I jiggle an inch.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, why did I eat that Skittle?
She looks a lot like Kylie Jenner, and it just like a lot of the scenes in this movie reminded me of like the cringe of like the Kylie Jenner like commercial,
the
the
Pepsi commercial.
Pepsi
Oh
commercial.
my god, or
Like,
the
what?
tequila commercial.
No, but I haven't seen that one, but the Pepsi one in particular, a
The
lot of that
protest
felt
Pepsi?
like this, like
protest
Like the
Yeah,
you mean
the
like the
protest
protest
one?
Pepsi?
Yeah.
It was. I
this
think
movie was about as good as that.
Protest Pepsi the musical is like a legitimate description of this film. I think.
Correct. And yeah, I
think
just
that's fair.
hated the whole DACA storyline.
That was horrible.
was-
I hated that this
Why
was
did we have to see Kamala Harris?
Okay, I want to get into that, but let me just say this before I forget. It's a giant Coca-Cola advertisement.
Yeah.
Right,
mean,
that's why it reminded me of the Pepsi
Bro.
thing. This is Coke's fucking
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner moment or
One of
Kylie
the-
Jenner
one of the
moment.
songs, like literally mentions drinking a Coke. Like
And
it's
there's
in the
multiple.
song.
Every single time there's a drink got at the gas station, it is a fucking Coke product.
But
Isn't
not a
that
Coke
crazy?
coffee.
It's crazy.
But anyway, go ahead. The DACA storyline.
But yeah, the DACA storyline, it's just like there's so much more to be said about like immigration reform than like simply DACA. And this movie is like so white bread, it disgusts me. And also, I'm like, by no means am I a lawyer. By no means am I 100% about this. But like, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't be possible for Sonny to actually get citizenship. Because oftentimes you can't apply from within the country because it then alerts them to the fact that you're here without documents, which then gets you arrested and deported. Like and then once you've been deported, you can't apply. So most of the time what you would have to do, right, is leave the country, go live in your other country for like 10 years and hope you get in.
That's insane.
That's my understanding. Like if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I like just don't think it's possible.
You are correct.
Thank
It
you.
is
Yeah,
almost
I think you're-
impossible.
Yeah, I mean,
Right
yeah,
about
like
that.
and every like
And like
instance I've seen, that's been the case.
and like it drives me crazy that like that's why the one dude Usnavi or something like that is that how do you pronounce
Yeah.
it?
Usnavi.
Usnavi, yeah, whatever. Whatever his fucking name is. That dude like really let that guy down by not taking him back to their home country.
Right, because that's the best way to get
Yeah.
citizenship to the States is to
Yeah, and it's like what's gonna happen like. As far as like he's got all this money now, he could literally travel them however. They could get a private boat and literally go
Yeah.
across. Like
It makes no sense
could
that they don't do
literally
something
change
like
his whole
that.
life.
Exactly. Like I was saying, like he's not giving his kid opportunities. He's not taking care of Sonny like
Well,
he said
it's
he was
not
going
his
to.
kid, but
Well, no, she meant
His own kids.
Oh.
He keeps them in the heights.
But like, and it just upsets me, the whole DACA thing too, because this movie misrepresents what DACA does and makes it look better.
Okay, I'm
than
sorry
it
I'm
is.
laughing, but it looks like a daycare in here right now.
It does.
'Cause our dogs are just being so bad.
But yeah,
I just see Franny reaching off like the corner of my eye trying to grab this dog. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah, it just
I just wanted to cuddle them, and now
like
they're
it's
being
better
bad.
than it is, and more fair and more equitable than it is when it really isn't. Because there's no pathway to citizenship for people on DACA. It's just allows you to stay here and be entitled to some benefits, but that's like it. That's just my little
Correct.
rant
Correct.
about the politics of this movie, which I find bad.
There's
Yeah.
a Try Guys video about it. There you go. You watch that.
About what?
There is.
About DACA. and
I
all
like
that
how
Oh,
they
I thought you meant
also-
this movie. I'm so
I was
confused.
confused too. I was like, what?
You were talking
was
about
like-
DACA, so I was like, well, if you want to learn more about all that, watch that video. That's
Hell
that's
yeah.
where I learned about it. So
Can we, like, you know what the goal would be, the dream for this podcast? Is
What?
to do a Try Guys collab.
that would be the dream.
I want to make that happen.
We were watching them do like the presidential physical fitness stuff. the
Oh,
other
God,
day.
Oh my
That's so
god.
Guys,
It's
Oh,
just
but also,
yeah.
can I
we're doing a podcast. Let's do it.
We are.
Can I say about the Try Guys? This is relevant. It is relevant. When I was like really into my Hamilton phase, because I had a big Hamilton phase back when it like first came out. I was on.
I feel like
Hamilton
every
Tumblr.
gay has a big
Yeah,
Hamilton
I mean,
phase.
like on Tumblr.
I mean, I
and
definitely
shit,
did
it was
as
like a whole
well,
thing.
so.
Like there are things that happened in the Hamilton fandom on Tumblr that I will never forget. They will be with me till my dying day.
God.
But that's beside the point. But what I'm trying to say is like I was consuming a lot of Hamilton content, and something that I found was this like random old web series about if the founding fathers somehow traveled to present day America. It was ridiculous.
I hate-
But the guy from the Try Guys is in it. The one with the blonde hair and the glasses and the goofy face.
Keith?
Yeah, Keith. But you knew who I was talking about, though.
Yeah.
It's
I
his
just-
goofy face.
I feel like it's really saying something that we don't like this movie,
I think that
considering you
wait,
guys are
hold on.
exactly who this movie was
is
made
important.
for. Like
Right.
That subreddit thing or whatever it was that
Tumblr.
Tumblr story is a better movie than the one we saw.
What Tumblr story?
The president's going back to modern day.
Oh, that was a YouTube series.
Oh,
Okay, that YouTube series is a better film.
Yeah, it was actually really funny. Keith was Benjamin Franklin.
that's funny.
That'd be so much better than what this was.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Because this was terrible.
Yeah, it's better than Hamilton. Actually, it was.
Are you guys ready to rate it? I feel like we should rate it.
Honestly, if you were out there on Tumblr when Hamilton was a thing, please send us an email because I need to have a group
and
therapy with you.
also tell us if you liked this movie. What you think?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah,
So-
like everyone
Yeah.
likes this movie. I mean, but like I said, it has caught some backlash recently, which I was like, good.
I think people who maybe saw it like in the cinema might have really liked it because it was like the first time they've done it in so long.
Exactly what we did.
But
Right.
we're different. We're I don't want to go that far.
We're different.
I'm a film critic, and you guys.
Hey!
I'm kidding. We all know that Bridget's also a film critic. So
Correct.
Aw.
I just didn't want you to knock my girl like
yeah,
that.
I know. But true facts. But
I'm just
anyway,
a trash can of a person. I don't even know.
but what I mean is we've watched a lot of fucking movies, so like we're not like it's harder to please us.
As Shania Twain once said, that don't impress me much.
Yeah, I think we've seen so much content at this point.
Yeah.
We watch more movies than probably most people do in like a year. Like in like a couple of weekends, we watch
Correct.
so many.
Like I
Right.
used to. Like I feel like
And we do it for you,
Right.
listeners.
Boom. There are times where it's hard.
like
Yeah.
in
There are
this movie.
definitely times where it's hard.
I think we
Right.
all would have walked out of this movie if we
Oh,
could.
This
definitely.
one, dude,
I was so bored.
This was near 1917 levels where I was like, I don't care if we finish. I was getting there, but the thing is I knew that I had to finish it because I couldn't make the excuse of like it was too painful.
Yeah.
Because I can watch it at home, so like we had to like finish
Yeah.
the movie.
I
Also,
wouldn't
like-
have gotten through this without alcohol. Shout out to a really big frozen daiquiri that got me through this movie.
Yeah.
Also, what was I gonna say?
No, let me finish my thing first. So I do want to say this: we were gonna do one of those out of the cinema quick reviews like we did with Freaky, right? Because we want to do that more. But it was so bad that we knew we would trash it too hard and give away all of our criticisms in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
waited. Like that's how bad our out of the theater experience was. We weren't like bewildered by it at the time and then hated it later. we hated it right away.
And we even saw it in the cinema.
Right.
Like we had
We
the
did.
magic. We wanted the experience. A lot
and
of us were in
all
Minecraft.
desperate. We were all desperate for a good experience at the time.
Half of us were in Minecraft.
We were
Oh, you
all
were?
reaching
I
for a
wasn't.
fun time. Nobody
Yeah.
like went in wanting to not have fun. We were all like
Right.
excited.
Right?
Yeah, because it was like Franny really wanted to see it, and it was just like a spur of the moment thing. And we were
Yeah.
like all gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Franny didn't have to drive, so she
Yeah,
got
you guys
destroyed.
picked us up.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I
he got
drove.
wrecked.
I got
I know, I had to
wrecked.
watch this movie sober. Like think
I
about
know.
that for a minute.
I also watched this.
And
You
no,
weren't
it-
quite sober. You had
I had done some.
had a little earlier.
Yeah, but I
Had
was
some time in
mostly.
Minecraft.
You had pre-gamed
No,
and then it wore
Bridget,
off.
nobody listening to this podcast is gonna believe you were sober.
Nobody listening to the podcast is gonna believe that Bridget has ever been sober.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
And have I? I don't know. I can't tell you.
Have I? I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gone through like that strawberry daiquiri was so strong too. Like Madison tried
I
to
know,
sip.
that thing was ridiculous.
There's absolutely no way I would have finished that whole thing because I got a large. I wouldn't have finished
Yeah,
that whole thing if the movie was good.
Right.
You know, I finished that out of pure boredom.
And we all at different times got up and like went to the bathroom.
Except
Yeah,
for me.
at one
Free.
point, I went and just bought another drink because we couldn't get refills, and I was thinking like, do I care about missing the movie and like getting this drink, or do I really need to watch it right now? And I went, it's on HBO, and also this will be a good break for me. So
Yeah.
because I
Right.
was actually getting exhausted by how bad it was.
It's long as
Yeah.
fuck.
I went to
It
the
is
bathroom.
long, and like it's also it's like when you're watching a bunch of people be miserable in the heat and you're sitting
Yeah.
somewhere stagnant, not able to get up because you're watching a movie, you start feeling that heat,
Right.
and you're like, oh, this is just torture.
I got up, went to the bathroom. This was during the dinner scene at the abuela's house or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got up, went to the bathroom, came back, and I was like, Bridget, did I miss anything? And she was like, no. Like I didn't.
Franny missed
you
the best
didn't.
scene.
Which was what?
Well, the worst scene,
oh,
but the best to talk
Piragua
about.
scene.
Yeah, the scene where he was pouring that shit all into their ice cream and fucking up their day.
That guy was, oh my God, his smug fucking face.
Like,
Lynn.
like I'm
And
sorry,
I hate
like,
his
Ugh.
beard in this movie.
like just because some
Same.
guy sold them ice cream that you don't like, you're gonna fucking destroy
Right.
a
Those children
child's
paid
ice
for
cream.
that.
Children who paid for it in the Heights.
Yeah.
You know, like the
That's
song.
icky. I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently there's a
you had a
post-
lot of time to see it, but you still didn't.
Apparently there's a post
I rewatched the whole movie. I rewatched the whole thing.
Did you watch the
Why?
post credits?
No.
Because there's apparently a post credit scene which is another fucking Piragua guy song.
Oh, I'm so
Really?
glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Lynn gave
Yeah.
himself another song.
Yes.
Yes.
Horrible.
So you didn't like the song?
I hope
I didn't
like
watch it. I don't know. I just think it's horrible that it exists.
I imagine that scene was just in the movie and like the test, like for like the test audiences, and
They were like,
everybody
"Get
was just
this
like,
away."
please no. And he was like, I gotta have it in there somewhere.
They're like, it's so fucking long.
He's like, okay, I'll just special little treat at the end. Like stop.
I'm like,
For the Lyns out there, for the Lynn fans, you know, was there a name for them?
I don't know.
Is there a name for Hamilton fans?
Lineates.
I don't know.
I was trying to make it sound like
I
idiots,
don't
but
know. Fuck,
I fucking hate it.
You're my
Gays?
lesbians. You're failing me.
I think maybe they say Hamel fam.
Oh yeah, they do.
Or for all those
They-
Hamel fams out there, he had to put it at the end, baby. You know, they're there for
I
that.
hate Lin-Manuel Miranda so much. If I ever see him, it's on site.
okay. So what's your rating of the movie then,
This movie,
Madison?
I give it a 2 out of 10. It's
Ooh,
very bad.
That's pretty harsh. Okay,
All right. What about you,
I
Bridget?
didn't like it. I didn't have fun
that's
watching
really
it.
harsh.
I'm also gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10.
Wow, I'm gonna give it a higher score than you guys. That's crazy.
Wow. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. I think that's fair. Yeah.
It's like a 4. I mean, like it's got good parts in it. It's well shot. Like it's really, really well shot, and the abuela scene is like next level.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, and I like those things.
I mean, there's a
just-
lot
Yeah.
of segments that I could pull from the movie where I'm like,
Maybe.
this is pretty iconic, and I
You
think
know,
it's
it did
gonna
make
kind
me
of.
laugh a lot, but not in the way it intended to. Sorry,
Yeah, I
cut
don't.
you
I
off.
think it is kind of like a little too try hard. Like the opening number's really good. I thought. Where there's like a bunch of people coming in and out of that. I wish that was the whole movie. I wish this was Clerks the musical because that's how the first scene feels.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better movie.
I
The movie
agree.
already starts off so bad. You hated this.
What's up?
The way the movie starts, where he wakes up and he. points
Oh
to the picture
yeah,
of his
okay.
dad.
No, I hate that when he goes, hey, Dad, or some shit
No, he
like
said
that.
pops.
He said, hey, Pops. Then miss you, Dad. Like,
He
it's just
said,
like,
he said
like,
best days of my life.
best day, yeah,
my
best,
life, Bob.
best days of my life, Pop. And it's just like, oh my God, we get it. He's dead and you miss him. Like, they couldn't have made it more fucking obvious. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Also,
They really
it's-
threw it in your face, and it's terribly acted. It does not come off
Yeah,
genuine.
no.
No.
He's saved only by his freckly little face.
Right, he's a little cutie.
But that opening scene was really good. But I feel like the movie got worse as it went on.
It
Yeah,
did.
for sure.
I mean, I really, really think it got worse. I thought the opposite before. That's why I'm mentioning it now. Like, when we first got out of the movie, I said it was the opposite.
I hate the name too, Usnavi.
But
I
I-
know we talked about that.
I've rewatched the whole movie, and
Yeah.
it really does feel like it's like, okay, we got something here, and goodbye. And it's like, and it drops off, and it never finds its way back.
Yeah.
Like the most cringy scene is when like Benny walks into the dinner. He's like, you're gonna tell him you stole the company? And she's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I feel like that's so inappropriate.
like,
And, like,
that's
he
his
was-
boss,
That's
and
your
he's also
boss,
trying
you
to fuck
fucking
his daughter
dickhead.
too. And
Yeah,
like,
I would
he's
be
still
like,
gonna act like
hey
that?
man, I don't think you have the right to act that way. You know,
Right.
like get the fuck out of here. That was crazy to me.
Yeah. This
And there
movie's
was, like,
ridiculous.
It felt like with this movie, they like took characters that already existed and were like kind of fleshed out in the musical and just were like, yeah, we're just gonna scrap that, start over, start from fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they had to have their token lesbians in there that everybody missed.
I didn't even know there were lesbians in this movie.
I mean, like when Franny pointed it out, I was like, oh, okay,
Well, there is that
yeah,
one in the
but-
salon, that one gay in the salon. It wasn't a lesbian, but there
Yeah,
was.
it was the lesbians and James Charles.
God.
That's who he looked like.
But that
He
salon,
was like a discount
Yeah,
bin
yeah,
James
yeah.
Charles.
and they're moving the salon.
Womp.
The salon's not even part of the neighborhood anymore.
I know
so.
they're leaving the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then they were mad that they weren't throwing them a goodbye party. So
Right.
they like roused everyone who's grieving a dead woman.
Right?
Why aren't we dancing?
Like,
Calm
Abuela
down.
would want you to celebrate me leaving you. So let's get up and do that.
Abuela was like, fuck this place too. We have the same idea.
Yeah.
dark.
She had her, and like, why are like the fact that this was a giant Coke advertisement and they were applying Abuela with Coke her whole life and then she died? Like, why is that the fucking underlining story here? Don't drink Coca-Cola is
That's
what I
gonna
got
be
out of this
me
movie.
someday.
She died of a heat stroke because all she did was drink Coca-Cola every
I would
day.
mainline Coca-Cola if I could.
Madison would dramatically die during a blackout, not wanting to deal with it.
There's no electricity.
Correct.
Even if it's like it's coming back on tomorrow, Madison's like, I'm trying to time it out, but I don't see the numbers working.
So this is a little bit of background to this riff moment. I have long said that if the apocalypse comes, I'll just kill myself. Because I'm not interested in living that way, and they all think it's ridiculous. But I'm sorry, the minute we lose, like,
No,
indoor
it's not
plumbing,
even. No,
I'm
not
out.
even like not even the apocalypse, but just the idea of slightly decivilizing.
Correct.
Like if you're guaranteed society will reform, but the only thing is like now we poop outside. You're like, that's too bad. I will not live.
Like, I don't understand camping. I don't get it.
Oh my God. I feel like we all need to go camping because you and Logan both don't get it, but I feel like me and
I still-
Bridget have gone
I
camping
like
enough.
nature.
to
I
know
still
how to
like
do
we
that.
should
outdoors.
just. I still think we should just do a vlog channel and just
Yeah.
like go camping or do crazy
I
things
think
like
you
that.
guys would be the two worst people to camp with, and that's why I want
nature.
to.
I love being outside. And
I
all that
hate
shit,
the
but
outdoors.
But I like sleeping in a bed.
I
I don't want to sleep on the ground. That's why I have a house.
Dude, no, like Madison, you don't understand. I don't even like the outdoors. I
I love
hate
the
it.
outside.
I
I
hate
just
dirt.
don't-
I hate bugs. I hate
He's
all that
such
shit.
a city boy. I
Logan
have
will
to
not let
convince
Franny
him,
have plants in the house because it's dirty.
Because it's shit.
right?
Fertilizer's shit.
It's so
He like
stupid.
does not understand plants. Yet I was
Wait,
a kid
hold on.
going
I
out.
understand plants.
I don't think you understand plants.
They're good for you.
What is that?
This is nothing. It's just Adobe Flash trying to make me download, and I'm like, fuck that.
In the middle of our podcast. It's good stuff.
But yeah, no, you sir aren't. I cannot imagine you camping, and that's why this is a great
Well, I've
idea.
never been
What was
camping.
it?
camping.
Like twice now, me and Bridget have like gone swimming in a lake, and we invite Logan. He's like, "No, I don't want to do that."
No thanks.
He said, "I would- I'll go with you."
They thought I was like blowing him off at first, but I was just like, no, I just don't want to do that. Like I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't know how to nicely say I'm
It's
not
so
interested.
fun.
I like doing that kind of shit.
No,
I'll go
thank
with
you.
you guys.
Hell yeah.
Sounds gross.
I was gonna say we were talking about going this weekend, but you're gonna be gone this weekend.
That
I love us
microphone is
making-
so far from your face at this point.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
All right, guys. We're going to pause and come back.
And do War Dogs.
Yes.
Hey, looking for more content? Check out Crosscut Cinema, where me, Franny, and my friends review movies. Or check out a pilot podcast where we review TV pilots with recording artist CL Blue. Or hey, check out me hanging out with my friends on Average Joe Interviews. Socials and links are in the bio. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, it's CL. I have an EP out now called Temple. It's a collection of songs I wrote when I was 18, and it's available on all streaming platforms, wherever you get your music.
So baby, look into my eyes. My body's a temple.
Hey, guys. We're back.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So, War Dogs. Let me talk about why I picked this movie in particular. So, the thing with War Dogs is when it was originally coming out, they kind of more marketed it as like a general comedy, like, you know, Superbad or something along those lines. And obviously, as you can tell from watching the movie, it's not that at all. It is not like your standard like Judd Apatow comedy whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind
Right.
of like a stoner movie, but not.
It's got like flares of like comedy. I think it's closer in tone to something like Tropic Thunder,
yeah.
where it's like got like a serious element to it and a serious action element to it, but it's also a comedy.
Like, we'll get into this, but this movie wants to be like Wolf of Wall Street.
I know. We'll,
Yeah.
get, we'll get into it. We'll get into
Really
it.
bad. We'll
it's
talk
not.
about
That's not
it.
the point. That's not. That's definitely not the
We'll
point
talk.
yet. We'll get into that. That's so separate. So the reason why this is significant is because this is one of the. It was one of the longest running number ones on Netflix. Because people were streaming it like crazy. It bombed at the box office. It did not have any life on home media. It came to life when Netflix picked it up, and then it was streaming number one, and it got super popular, memed like crazy, and now it's become like a cult following movie, where it's like one of those movies that like came to Netflix, and because it came to Netflix, it like
Right.
grew a new
Took
life.
off. Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I think that kind of shows what we were talking about before with the differences with streaming, what it can like promote and what it kind of like ruins, and that's why I think like. It's interesting to try to figure out where like movie making is going to go, because
Yeah.
in the past it's always been what's the biggest spectacle to get people in the seats. But now, and especially with what happened with COVID, it's like I think the new question is going to be how do we get new subscribers on the website?
And also I think it shows that the smaller your budget is, the more money you stand to make with streaming now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it was like a bigger budget gets you more spectacle, gets you more people in to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing now is that like if you have a smaller budget, you can be really successful because getting picked up by Netflix is a big deal.
I mean, I think it's ironic that Scorsese hates the Marvel movies so much when they might single-handedly be saving the movie theaters, you know?
Yeah.
Because those are the one movies that are always
People are gonna
those
go see.
action films
Yeah.
along with like DC, you know, Batman, shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff's gonna do really, really well. Or like Dune, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna it's gonna be available for home release, but you're gonna go to the movies to see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Dune.
I think that big spectacle movies like that are gonna exist, but there's not ever gonna be another mid-range movie. Like there's not gonna be any other like decent budget Nick Cage action movie ever again. Like that part of cinema's dead. I really do feel.
it just doesn't do either thing.
It's either micro budget or major budget, and I really wonder if things are just going to start skewing to micro budget only because it just makes the most money.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to come a day
I
when people get sick of all the superhero stuff.
Yeah, and I don't think that's
Right.
a bad thing at all. I think it's a good
I
thing.
think it's both. I think that it's cool that people are getting into micro budget films, but I'm really going to miss an experience where it's like, holy shit, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars on the screen, and like this
Yeah.
is an event. I don't want
Yeah.
those to go
That's true.
away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I think it's just interesting how it changes and how the culture has changed.
I think it's made movies better and worse. Like I think it's
Yeah.
yet again more extreme. There's not like any mid-level movies anymore. You either see a shitty ass fucking thing or a really really good and inventive thing.
Yeah.
And it's cuz people are really like with these micro budgets, people are getting more freedoms to do what they want. Like
Yeah.
Hubie Halloween exists and that's really upsetting and that sucks. But
Correct.
like but like there's like micro budget things like Stranger Things that exist, and that
Yeah.
shit's really great.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
it's strange to see how that's gonna all work out, but I just don't want like the blockbuster to die. I'm just not ready for something like Jaws to not ever come back.
Yeah.
And I think that
Right.
as long as streaming is making more money and like is doing better, especially with people being hesitant to return to theaters with COVID and everything, I mean, like, who would have ever thought that Fast 9 might be the last Fast and Furious movie? You don't know.
Yeah.
They're
it's
saying
crazy.
it's not going to turn out as much numbers as the last ones have, and they put real money into those movies.
So, or is what you're saying in
Yeah.
order to save cinema that we all need to make our way out and see Fast 9?
Oh, I would totally endorse that. If you're a part of the family, I endorse that for
Yeah,
you.
let's go.
If
Go
you,
see Fast 9.
I've never seen any Fast and Furious movie.
Same. Dude,
I-
that's why
I-
we should go. We should see Fast 9 as our first
Oh,
Fast and
I
Furious
heard
movie.
that it's
I've
like
never seen any of
impenetrable.
them.
Like you will not be able to follow along.
That's why we should go see it.
Because originally this is
Jesus.
a fun little story. A long time ago, I was talking to somebody about getting early access to films for like reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I saw that was a possibility was getting into the Fast and Furious movie that was going to come out in April of 2020. Right? Was it 2020?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
that would make
April
sense.
2020. That's what it was. Because then it got moved to whatever July of this
now.
year.
Yeah.
June, July, or whatever. And like they were like, it was like a movie I could see, and then I like did research on it. Would I be able to understand Fast and Furious 9 without seeing the other movies? And the resounding answer was, there's no fucking way possible I would be able to understand.
Okay, I really want to do this on this podcast. We should do Fast 9, never having seen another
We should
Fast
watch
and
all
Furious.
the Fast and Furious movies in reverse.
Yes.
Just see it go backwards.
But you know what we could do with Fast and the Furious, though?
What?
We could do Ricky Bobby.
Oh, jeez. We should do
Yes.
that one movie that we promised forever ago. The
What was
fucking
it?
Ford versus Ferrari.
That's what. Yes, let's do that.
Ford v Ferrari.
I want to go see Fast 9 so bad because I know nothing about it.
Fast
I don't
9's probably
understand it.
coming to the drive-in, and I am looking for
Oh,
a reason to
that
go to
go
the
see Fast 9
drive-in.
at the drive-in. That's pretty
Yes.
iconic.
I am begging
Watching
for a
cars do
reason.
karate on each other in a car.
That's amazing.
I feel like we're off topic.
Manifesting.
We're off topic a little bit. already.
Yeah, what are we talking about? War dogs.
War dogs. All right, now you've been really wanting to talk about how much you hate this. I'm somewhere in the middle of hate and like, so go at it. I want to hear your opinions on
I
this.
don't care for this film. I don't like it. It like, what is it with Todd Phillips and Martin Scorsese? He's like single white femaling him, and it really scares me. I think he's gonna kill Martin Scorsese and wear his face.
I don't think it's that intense, but yeah.
No,
I
but
mean,
he really is like copying his shit. Like this movie wants to be Wolf of Wall Street more than anything. It wishes it could. And Miles Teller wants to be Leonardo DiCaprio so bad, and he just isn't.
he's just discount Shia LaBeouf.
Like I don't really like Miles Teller. I like
I don't like Miles Teller either.
I like
love
Whiplash.
Yeah, everybody loves Whiplash, and he's really good in Whiplash. and
Yeah,
you
but
should
that's
watch
about
that
it.
movie. I don't know about it. I mean, he's good in other shit too.
yeah, but I mean, I just don't.
I
like
generally
this.
don't like
it
him.
sounds like he's like reading for a documentary about it, as opposed to like delivering.
you
his
hate
lines.
you know what? You say the same thing about Shia LaBeouf though. Do you just hate that like tone?
I guess. I
That,
guess
like-
I must.
Like where? Like what is that region accent? Because that is an ad that, you know, like, and then like that like little
Yeah.
that
Feels
little
like
thing.
it
you
feels
know?
like a California accent.
Yeah, maybe it's like a little Californian, a
Yeah.
little
It
bit.
kind of reminds me of who's the cannibal?
Army
Like
Hammer.
He's got a little bit of that accent.
I think
It
Army
just-
Hammer's
his
from like
voice is so
Brooklyn or
deep.
something, or like Pittsburgh. But
I don't know. He gives me the same vibe, but
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't.
Miles Teller gives you the same vibe as Army Hammer.
in some
insane.
ways,
What?
I don't know.
Absolutely
in some
Yeah, I
ways.
don't
Crazy.
like.
Absolutely insane.
I don't like the acting in
That's
this
funny.
movie. I think that there. are
Whoa,
things-
whoa, whoa.
That's funny that you said like he just wants to be Leo. Like I kept like trying to remember like who's in this movie
And I did
everything,
tell
like,
you it was
prepping,
like
and it
an-
feels like Leo.
I did tell you beforehand that it was a knockoff Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
just,
So,
said
I
Don't
didn't
take
realize-
credit for that burn because I got burns for
No,
this
I
movie
know.
too.
I just didn't realize to what level it was. Like
it was yeah. I mean it was. I
very
mean to the fact
intense.
that they even cast the same guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
To play
like,
the
Jonah
same
Hill.
character.
Why did he take this part? He did it already.
Well, I mean I think that like.
He's
you know,
good at it.
he's really about the almighty dollar. He turned down Batman because they didn't want to give him enough money.
True.
He wasn't the Riddler because they didn't have enough money to give him. Like that's Jonah Hill, bro. I guess he thinks he's the shit.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, in this movie he really isn't.
And no, I don't like him in this
But
movie either.
there are things I like about this movie. So we're gonna chop it in half. I just want to say,
Wait,
it's got,
I have more complaints.
Okay, go ahead.
My last thing, it's really just the last thing, but I think it's worth saying. There are things in this movie, things that happen plot wise that don't make fucking sense and are idiotic.
Like what?
Like the fact that he can't turn in Jonah Hill's character because he like got rid of the contract. You're telling me this man didn't like make a copy?
But did you know that part of the story's true?
Is that really true?
That's really true, yeah.
That's fucking
insane.
stupid.
Isn't that insane?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard because you typed it up on the computer.
Yeah, I know. But they were like these were like idiots who like one was like a professional masseuse,
Yeah.
So he didn't.
So
I think he thought that was being so official, like typing it out. Like they really don't portray them as much as the idiots that they actually were. That's the issue with this movie.
Yeah, I was
is
gonna
these
say
two
that
are
too.
very
It's
dumb
just, like-
people, and so he would do something like type out a fucking contract.
But
and
it
then
makes him
not,
seem actually really smart, and it.
But
like,
yeah, I know that was the movie's doing. That was a cinematic choice. I think to just
Yeah.
keep making them morons the whole time would probably be an issue.
yeah,
But I mean,
Well,
they
and
drove.
also
They
this
drove
one- this
through
movie wanted to
Iraq,
be-
right? Or was it
Yeah.
Iraq? Yeah.
yeah.
They drove through Iraq. Now that shit was really funny. I
Yeah,
really,
no,
I
mean,
really
there were
enjoyed
parts
that
of the
part
movie
of
that
it.
were funny.
Like the free gas moment where he's like, "Oh, dude, like this is the best. I want to buy a mansion out here."
Yeah.
That shit was crazy. When they were just in that country, like when they had to like go and actually take a flight to like be out there.
Yeah.
And then, like you see the contrast, and they're in the middle fucking east, and it looks crazy. I love that shit. I thought that was so funny.
I mean, I'll say this: like the movie is well written.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
it just
well written.
isn't its own thing. Like,
Yeah, no. All the
It
influences,
has the same problem as Joker has.
all
It's
the
well
stylish,
written.
influences done seem like they're literally cropped from a different movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the sunglasses stuff, like when they were like on the truck, like we've seen it all before, dude. Like
Yeah.
those particular shots are so obviously like pulling back to Scorsese.
Yeah, and it's like it had, like I said, it has the same thing that Joker has, where the movie is well directed and well written. It just isn't its own movie.
They pull a little bit closer.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah.
Let me pull it down a little.
I feel like every time I saw this movie 2 weeks ago, and it's just blended so much with like other
back.
movies to
I
me.
love you, baby, but it's Madison
Quite
just took
alright.
the whole microphone into
struggling.
her hand.
Fuck.
There we go.
Oh my god!
I think I'm good now. I
Sorry,
think I'm good.
everybody's ears.
You were
were
thinking the
telling-
same thing.
You were telling me to move it, and like,
Yeah, because you had the microphone like out like this, so I need you to come a little bit closer. That's way better.
thank you.
Just I love you. I just really thought that's what you were about to do. The way you were holding the microphone was so good. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I was just saying that I feel like this movie, like I liked this movie and I enjoyed this
Yeah,
movie.
I really- I
but
didn't- I didn't hate the movie that
I feel
much.
like it
Yeah,
blends
no.
with other movies because of the way it is. But like I liked Wolf of Wall Street, and I like this one just as much. Honestly,
Bridget's never seen Wolf of Wall Street, so
Yeah.
she liked this movie a good deal.
I did.
Yeah, Wolf of like I said, like that's what I was talking about. I think it's like it's so well paced.
yeah, but it
like-
blends with that.
And like that's the issue is like the reason why it's so well paced is because the pacing is iconically like or not iconically like directly
Right.
ripped. I mean the pacing is like completely like a Scorsese flick to where it feels a little copied. But the thing is like he does it so well. It feels like a really good student film trying to be a Scorsese movie.
Yeah, and the fact
Yeah,
that Todd
I
Phillips
can
has
see
done this
that.
twice.
Yeah. No. I mean he clearly is simping.
Yeah. See what
We're having
both of
all
us
sorts
do?
of microphone issues right now.
It's crazy. But yeah, like
You'd probably really like Wolf of Wall Street if you like this.
Yeah, I think
enjoyed
that's
it.
true.
I
Yeah.
do think that like the acting kind of fell flat sometimes, but
And that's what Wolf of Wall Street has that this doesn't is good acting.
yeah. And like from Jonah Hill especially, because in this movie it was not it, my friend.
Okay, there were some times in the movie where he was good, but every single time he'd do that laugh, that
I
was
know.
They
I was
went-
going to say
laugh.
it haunts my dreams.
They went too far into like a caricature of a person.
The issue is
Yeah.
I think the reason why that kind of character works so well in Wolf of Wall Street versus this is Wolf of Wall Street. It's like all the characters are already kind of like mythically bad in a way. Like they're so like cocaine ridden in like their essence and their grossness.
In the same way
that they feel like
Scorsese-
caricatures all across the board.
In the
Whereas
same
in
way
this
that, like-
movie, Miles Teller's really being Shia LaBeouf.
Right. And like, and that's all Scorsese gangster movies are too. Like, they romanticize these larger than life, disgusting personalities, and like Wolf of Wall Street also does that. This movie doesn't do that.
This is different. This felt more like How Great Gatsby was bad, where it was like the main character was somebody who just like felt like they were in it against their will, and it's like that character is not compelling when they're doing bad shit on purpose.
Right.
Like, I don't care if he has a good heart. He also is knowingly selling guns and starting revolutions and selling bullets illegally. And Bradley Cooper looks insane in this. But
you know what?
Yeah.
I liked Bradley Cooper in this.
no, I mean, he wasn't bad in it. It just looked
crazy.
crazy.
Town. It was unreal.
Those glasses were insane.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it.
But yeah, like I just think that the issue was with the characters themselves in a lot of ways. Mainly Miles Teller's character is like the biggest problem with this movie, in my opinion. That's why the Jonah Hill character, as bad as the acting was sometimes,
Yeah.
that character came off pretty genuine to me.
Yeah, but like Miles Teller's character, it's like, I don't want to do this. I
Yeah,
feel
but it's
bad
like you're
about
doing
it.
it,
But then like,
and,
why
like-
are you?
And
No.
like
Right.
you're literally an activist. Like, what the fuck? Then no, you're not. If you
Right.
act like you're an activist, but you're literally selling bullets illegally from China to another country, like, you're not
Right,
a
like,
fucking
you're
activist.
and like, you're contributing to the death of civilians and like Iraqi people
Yeah.
that didn't deserve it.
Right, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Wild. Yeah. I don't like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, I like parts of it. I do. I think that
I mean,
think
there are funny moments. There are moments that make me
I think
laugh,
it's a
sure.
fun romp. Like,
get-
it's
I get
not
why-
super serious.
I get why it did so bad at the box office though, because the trailers for it are like, this is super bad, and like it is not.
No.
It is a totally different movie. This isn't like a Seth Rogen shit butt comedy. This is like a legitimate effort at a Scorsese wannabe.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it has comedy in it, and like the comedy parts of it actually aren't really that bad.
Yeah.
it's
and I think,
It's more or less when they're trying to be overly serious that actually.
and
kinda
I
gets
understand
bad.
why it picked up on Netflix because it's
Because
like,
yeah, it's
a
total-
different kind of movie.
It's totally like attitude. Like it's got like a real like shade over it. Like people who like
Yeah.
really like kitschy movies like Tarantino and Scorsese and stuff.
yeah.
If they like it for all the like buzzword reasons, they'll love this movie.
Yeah. I agree.
But I think it was it was at least entertaining the whole time. Like there's some movies that we have to watch for this podcast that are
Yeah.
like painfully paced. Like it's better than the Matrix sequels. Like legit better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
In
Yeah.
terms
Like-
of pacing, for sure.
Yeah, the pacing. And the thing is like if two movies are bad and one's slightly worse than the other, but the pacing was way more livable, I'm going with the one where the pacing was better.
Yeah. Like, you don't understand. Like, we have to watch this, really.
Yeah, we have to like watch the whole fucking thing.
And sometimes it's really hard.
Sometimes it is legit so hard.
I don't know. So, like, Bridget, I feel like you like this movie probably better than.
I mean, I thought it was funny and I kind of like the actiony parts, but something about it just didn't seem quite genuine. And I think that's probably because it's like a copy of another movie, apparently.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not. Well,
or-
to say it's a copy of Wolf of Wall Street's definitely pushing it. It's more like
That's the movie it wants to be.
it's more like this feels like a sequel with the same characters but doing something different. Like very much the same type of characters, like all throughout the film.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like, it's Jonah Hill's character is such a fucking pussy too in this movie. Like,
Right. And
there's
I
elements
hate
of the
his little
character
pussy
that
boy
are
laugh.
unlikable, even though I think he does it pretty well. Like, there's just times where like, am I really supposed to like think this dude's still funny after he does like that kind of racist shit or some other crazy shit?
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I don't know why Jonah Hill took this movie. I mean, I know the money, but like,
I
he
think,
literally just did it.
I mean, Todd Phillips usually he has movies that make a lot of money. This was just one that didn't.
Yeah, true.
I mean, even the Hangover sequels made money, even though they were bad.
yeah.
First one
We
was
got to
good.
do that for the pod.
All
the
three?
hangovers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let us know if you guys
That'd
like.
be
if you guys want us
1/3
to do
fun.
that.
I would definitely rewatch. I'd watch the original for that.
Yeah,
But
I would do that.
yeah, I mean,
I'd say. I'd say this movie's a little better than average, but it's nothing like super special. It's funny that like Logan was talking about how this movie like is trying to be so genuine and it falls flat. Like I liked this movie for more of like the comedy and just like the way it looked.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
the
and
style, like,
that,
the
I
acting.
think that's why they tried to market it that way.
Yeah.
Because they were
That
like,
makes
the
sense.
comedy in this is really good. So if we put that in all the trailers,
Right.
and people think Jonah Hill's funny and Miles
Yeah.
Teller is just Shia LaBeouf, so let's just put it out and see what happens. And then
Right.
you go see their own movie and it's an art house gangster film about supplying guns.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than sold
Also,
for.
like, it explains that people can make money off of war. Like, I'm in 5th grade. I'm like, yes, I understand.
like
that.
that.
I did think
appreciate
the part
that.
where they explained to the audience how he was able to be an equal seller to like big
I
corporations.
thought that was good.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a really cool idea to show in the film. Actually,
Not all of
'Cause
us
I
took
don't-
fucking political science.
I think that's what I was about to say. I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people understand how the U.S. military's like supply works.
Oh, fair enough. I was just like, okay, I get this, but maybe that's just me.
I feel like people know that we pay a lot of money for the war. I just think there's actually people out there who don't know why,
where it
and
comes
it's
from.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
didn't
where
know.
it comes
So
from.
sorry.
It's all good.
I feel like I learned something from this movie.
Well, that's good.
Right.
I feel like we all learned something today.
Who's your dream casting?
And like a recast.
Yeah.
I'd put Shia LaBeouf as Miles Teller.
Right, most things Miles Teller's in, you could replace him with
Shia LaBeouf, and it's
easy.
better. Whiplash would have been better. I'm just being
I
real.
think so too. I was thinking about that earlier.
And like Disturbia would be worse with Miles Teller.
right. It doesn't work both ways.
I'd
So
go with Shia
Shia
LaBeouf, and then for a character actor like that, somebody who's that crazy.
Would Seth Rogen be better?
No, he'd be
No?
way worse. At least Jonah Hill's like a real actor.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, not to be a dick, but he is.
Damn.
I just feel like those two are kind of interchangeable in some ways, but
I'm
you're
probably
not
like,
here.
I don't know. That's so tough. There is somebody I'm thinking of, but I can't remember his name. The dude who played Richard Jewell in Richard Jewell. He can play a dirtbag really well. He did it in I, Tonya.
Oh yeah.
I think
don't
he'd
remember
be
his
I
name.
think he'd be legit funny.
Yeah, that would be
um,
funny.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, that's such a hard part to cast because it's such a character role. I think whoever they'd cast in it, it would change the whole character.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's just such a loud, like, you need somebody, like, you need to be likable in some kind of way. So as a result, you need, like, a real interesting character to fit that role. That guy
Right.
probably was not that interesting in real life.
Yeah, no,
Right.
sure not. I liked Ana de Armas in this movie though. I thought she did pretty good.
Yeah,
With
she
what
was
she was
fine.
given to do, I think she was good.
Yeah, I think that she kind of, like, I don't know. I think the character was kind of, like, shit in the sense because she found out what he was doing and was still like, okay. And then,
Right.
like,
I mean,
he went
she
to
did her
prison.
best.
She was still like, okay.
She did the best with what she could.
But I mean,
did.
she just accepted him every time. It's like, what? Like,
Yeah,
bitch,
no,
make
I mean,
a stance.
Yeah, no, I mean as an actress, like she.
Oh,
did,
yeah, yeah,
she
I
did the
know,
best
I
she
know,
could with
definitely.
with what she was.
There
given.
wasn't a whole lot of meat
Yeah.
there. I think
Right.
if you're not one of these two main characters, you're pretty much a side role in this film.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
It's pretty much all about them.
I mean, and of course, I loved what's his name. The sunglasses.
Bradley Cooper.
Yes,
Bradley Cooper.
I love Bradley.
Ooh,
Cooper.
who would I cast the Bradley Cooper role? That's the real question.
I would leave it Bradley Cooper.
Ideally, we could leave it Bradley Cooper. Maybe like a Matthew McConaughey.
I would go with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, that would be good too. I love Ryan Gosling.
I think he would be good.
I think I say Matthew McConaughey because I've really been like into True Detective lately.
Yeah, I know you have. You were pretty
Yeah.
much looking for the opportunity to mention it.
I
You were
know.
like, how can I mention that I've been
I just
watching
want to
True
talk about True
Detective?
Detective because I really
We
I
should,
watched
you
it
should
the
get
first
on my
time.
other podcast. We should do it there.
Okay, let's do that.
We should. I agree.
All right. Are we
It would
ready
be
to
a
rate
lot
this
cooler if we
movie?
did.
What?
A lot cooler if we did.
Be a lot cooler if we did.
It's something Matthew McConaughey.
I think this movie is a 5 out of 10.
I think this movie is a 6.5 out of 10. It's better than average, and I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna say like a 7 out of 10 because I didn't,
Bridget's out here like, it's good.
not like it's
She's
good.
like, put some respect on my boy Miles
No,
Teller's
yeah.
name.
She's like, listen, Todd Phillips ain't bad all the time. It can't rain all the time.
Like I didn't hate it. I didn't like love it, but I didn't hate it.
So
I
it
give-
gets a 7.
It gets a 7.
Got
Fair
it.
enough. I give it a 4 out of 10. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to definitely be lower than me. I think it's like an exact down the line movie, like where it's definitely entertaining enough where I think you should watch it. But like, don't expect it to be a comedy and don't expect it to be Wolf of Wall Street. It's some weird place in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't mind watching it, and I would watch it again. But like, it just didn't really do it for me. There are better movies you could watch if you wanted to. I mean, like you might as well just watch Wolf of Wall Street if you're going to watch this movie. That's how I.
I
see
do
it.
think the contrast though when they're in the Middle East is an interesting piece of filmmaking.
Yeah, no, I think it's like well shot and
because
well directed.
there's not like because of obviously cultural taboo reasons. There's not a lot of films that take place in the Middle East.
Right.
So films like Argo and stuff like that, it's always a really cool like architectural decision.
Yeah.
Like it's always
Yeah.
very interesting to see modern everyday white people standing around in the middle of the of a country, you know, like in a Middle Eastern country. I think it's very interesting to show like how out of place they are.
Right.
And I think that was also the idea with the composition of just showing them in wide of like they're in this fucking torn down building essentially staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was also really good.
Oh, I liked the soundtrack for this movie. I'll say that.
Yeah, just have a good soundtrack.
It's a little on the nose, but I liked it.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, I think.
Cool beans.
I think we summarized this pretty well. I'd say watch it still. All in all.
I think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
It's just not that good.
If anything, just to learn how all that shit works. If you didn't
right.
If you didn't go to college for whatever the fuck Madison went to college for. Anyway.
What did I go to college for?
Who even knows at this
that question
point?
every day.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Let us know what you want us to do in the future. You can find this podcast, youtube.com/crosscutcinema. You can follow us on Instagram at crosscutcinema and Twitter. I think Crosscut Cinema, not Cross. Yeah. No, Crosscut Cinema Pod on Instagram, Crosscut Cinema on Twitter.
Because we don't do well with domains. There's another podcast that did really bad with domains.
Yeah. Speaking of that podcast, if you want to hear more content,
youtube.com/pilot podcast. It's me. It's Franny. It's recording artist CL Blue.
Yeah.
Talking about dumb shit like Digimon. Thank you for 5,000 views. That was dope as hell. Olivia Rodrigo. I still hate you. Anyway, you can
find
also
out
check
the
us
beef.
out. Yeah, find out about the beef. You know, it's personal. And then youtube.com/Logan Tyler is my personal channel. It's going to have bonus content put on there. If you haven't listened to the Elton John, Eminem podcast, the Rocket Man and 8 Mile
Please
podcast,
do.
we also have a conspiracy theory that's going to be clipped and put onto that channel for you to listen to. Just so more people hear it. It seems like not a lot of people found that video, and I'm
And
telling
we're trying
you,
to spread the truth.
it's totally
I think
worth
that,
it.
I think that YouTube is suppressing it.
I think
I
YouTube
kind
is
of
in
agree with
general
that.
suppressing us.
Yeah, I know, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up
It's
because
really
we do
mean
it the
of
exact
them.
same podcast on a different channel, and it seems to go differently. But
I know,
whatever.
it's ridiculous.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, but there will be a bunch of stuff on that channel, so please check that out.
All right, guys. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.